Welcome everybody to tonight's home clinic. A home clinic is where we grab one quality coach and he presents on one specific subject for you guys to enjoy, and he usually does that from home. If you guys have been enjoying this series and would like to see it continue, we want to ask that you would like and subscribe below. Those things certainly help us to grow and is kind of that feedback to say this is a good thing. Keep this coming. If you have a desire to present in the future, reach out to us on Twitter, DM us. That's at the Chief Pigskin. All right, without further ado, tonight's home clinic.
Welcome everybody to another Chief Pigskin home clinic. I'm Dylan Mack, head coach of Elmwood Park High School. You're also one of your Chief Pigskin videographers. Tonight, I'm joined by a O-line guru of sorts, Hog Football Chat co-host, Tony Shiffman. Coach, thank you for joining me.
Sure. Thanks for being here. Definitely not a guru, though. That's not a guru, but I appreciate that.
Well, you're over at Lake Forest University, the Foresters, and what are you guys running there?
So we're a pro spread team. We like to run a lot of inside-outside zone with a few gap schemes and kind of mixed in, and then a pro style passing game. A lot of quick game, a lot of 5-step drop, some play action passes off of our run game, and throwing a little bit of RPO in there as well. So I like to refer to it as pro spread because it does have some of the spread qualities that kids are seeing on the Saturday afternoon games on primetime television. But it's also got some pro principles with a lot of tight ends, a lot of fullbacks, and really kind of hanging our hat on personnel. And changing formations up.
Okay, so doing kind of a bunch of different things, kind of a lineman's paradise, so to speak, as far as what you guys are doing in the run game. You were with Nate in the Under the Light segment and talking a lot of inside zone.
Yep.
And then you were talking about some pin and pull.
Right.
And that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah. So we're a big pin pull team for our outside zone. So our outside zone is predominantly pin and pull.
Is there a reason you guys went with the outside zone, kind of doing it that way?
No, it's just something that has worked in the past, and that's kind of what we rolled with. So
makes sense. If it works,
right.
Right. So, all right, Coach. Well, I'm eager to get going and listen to you. We're looking at doing pin and pull this year. We're a trap team that wasn't real great at trapping. We didn't have anybody that really kicked out well. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at just kind of more leading like a fullback. That's similar to that pin and pull look.
Sure,
so
sure.
I definitely, when you said it, I was like, oh man, I gotta get Coach Shiffman on and pick his brain a little bit.
Right.
So
right.
I'm eager. I'm excited. If you want to share your screen, Coach, and we'll get going.
Okay. So like I said, we are predominantly pin pull for our outside zone. For us, it's always, we want to always have a tight end or an offline fullback in there, just because it's going to help us with our numbers more. And for us, we like to try to get two out in the play at every time, but we know sometimes numbers don't help that. There's a couple clips on here where you'll just see one guy pulling. There's a couple clips on here where we'll actually see three guys pulling. So for us, it's all about communication. So we try to limit the center pulling as much as we can, but we know that sometimes it has to be that guy. So we like to try to keep it to the two guards, kind of that normal buck sweep type look as much as possible. In this situation right here, we end up getting a couple guys pulling that probably shouldn't pull. And for us, we're always looking for the Sam backer is the first man, and then the Mike backer is the second man. And then we handle the Will backer with the backside tackle, leaving this guy alone. Because that's, we'll read that guy sometimes. We'll boot off that guy. We'll just see kind of what he's going to do and kind of make him wrong by default. We do have a couple tags we have where we will block this guy, and then we are taking care of this Sam backer or strong safety with the receiver or another fullback body or tight end body, and then we're handling the Mike and the Will from the offensive line standpoint. So if I play this play here, they kind of do some things here to muddle things up. They're bringing the extra pressure on the backside or on the front side, excuse me. And that's one of the things that we did a poor job about last year, was communicating that this guy knows he's getting the down block from the tight end. He's got to understand that this is the Mike, no matter what. So even if this guy walks up, his responsibility is the Sam. So he's got to get out there and get to that Sam, and he's got to know that the Mike is being picked up by the center here, or the backside puller. In this situation, really, what could have happened and probably what should have happened is probably a down here, a down here, a down here, and then pulling with those guards, kind of like I talked about in that perfect world scenario situation. We know that rarely happens, but we still like to pretend that that's what we're going to get. So we do a good job here of the running back reading it and just seeing like, hey, there's green grass. I'm going to find green grass, but we don't really do anything really well. We block this kind of as poor as you can be for the pin pull, and still end up getting a touchdown just because the running back was good enough to cut against the grain and get upfield. But so we're looking for, like I said, we're looking for Sam first puller, Mike second puller in our regular pin pull. When we tag it with a search or a stab or something along the lines to let the receiver know that he's handling the strong side safety or the strong side backer, now we turn first puller's getting Mike, second puller's getting Will. We're locked on the backside. So that's kind of our pin pull in the simplest of forms, but we'll show a couple clips here as well. So this is the one I was talking about with we only get one guy pulling. So what ends up happening is this guy right here, I won't name names. He's an all-conference guy. He actually pulls the wrong direction. So sometimes they, even our college kids are still doofuses and make the same mistakes that the high school kids make. So we only end up getting one guy pulling on this play. So we do a good job down here. This guy should be chipping and probably working backside or to the Mike right here. Depends on kind of the alignment out here. From what I can remember, I think they had a body out here, so he should have been chipping up to the Mike. We don't end up getting this guy. So in a perfect world, again, the perfect world scenarios, we're down here. He should probably be down here, and then we're pulling the one guy here. But, again, it's a lot of ifs and buts and candies and nuts. So what ends up happening is we end up pulling the one guard, or the one center, excuse me, and I give them free rein to cut. So we work a little bit of cut drills, but we're not really a heavy cut team. But I give this guy free rein to cut. He does a great job here of taking that guy's knees out, taking that guy out of the play, and our running back, this is kind of why we like why we run it outside zone here. It's the old Green Bay Packers, find the alley, hit the alley, and then get vertical as much as possible. So we do a good job on this on the front side of it. Not so great on the back side of it. Okay. Again, because this guy should be, he pulls this way, which probably ends up helping out the play because the linebacker doesn't know what the hell's going on. And then we're able to kind of get that crease, get that alley, like I said. So it's a lot is determined by alignment on who pulls. We've got our calls. Here's a couple good plays here. We've got our calls on who goes, who stays, et cetera, et cetera. So now we've got a situation right here where this guy's mugged up. Okay. So it's still the same principles. So we're still, I think we're going the opposite way though, actually. If we were running the ball this direction, we'd still be down. It'd be a quick kick out right there, down, and then almost like a quick fold block here. So it still ends up being, hey, number one is the Sam, number two is the Mike, number three is handled by, backside. For this situation, if this were to happen here, these guys would double team that, like a zone double team up to that, the Will backer. Okay, we're in double tight here, so we end up not having that happen. I think actually he does. Actually, now that I think about it, I think he does. Yeah, he does end up audibling this play, so it is what I just drew up. Doesn't happen often, but I was right. So we end up getting the same thing here. So and really what happens on this play, our tackle, this kid is a great athlete, going to be a really great offensive lineman. He's a true freshman, and he was playing this whole season at left tackle after being a center for his entire football career. So his polish still needs work. His fine-tuning still needs work, because really what he should be doing is he should just be dropping that foot and taking a direct path at this guy instead of kind of the hop step that he does. And then you can watch this guy. He should know that that's the Mike, that's my guy, get eyes on him, and just block him wherever he wants to go. If he shoots open window, let him shoot open window. We'll just pick it up. So you watch, he sees him a little bit, but he ends up running by him and getting a good enough piece of him. I just didn't like his body positioning where he's at. He should be square, a little bit more square to line of scrimmage, and picking it up. So you can see here, this is a situation where we end up pulling 3. So we've got the backside guard blocking down here. We end up, again, folding that to try to pick up the Will backer. And again, this was the last game of our season. We were sort of ragtag and kind of what we had out there. We had some injuries take place. So this guy, again, this was the one who pulled the wrong way that one play. He was our all-conference guard who ended up moving to right tackle for the last game of the season just because bodies dictated that's where he plays. So, and again, so he's trying to take a little bit flatter. He can just turn up in this situation. He can just turn up field and go get that guy instead of trying to keep it flat down the line of scrimmage like he did.
So
okay,
Coach,
and it's a good. Go ahead.
Yeah. So on this one, so that backside tackle, so 50, not 57, 56.
Yeah.
So where is he looking to kind of insert, or is he just pretty much eyes on that number 3 line?
He's got eyes here, so he needs to insert where he can insert. Truthfully,
Okay.
So if we watch the film with him again, I tell him that kind of he sees that open window right here, take that path, and obviously don't run right at him. That's the old adage: don't run at where they're at, run where they're going to be. But if he takes this path and just kind of almost runs for the safety, he's going to run into 4 eventually.
Right.
But he just, again, this was his first game at right tackle, kind of just raw. And this was the situation was that we had an injury on a Tuesday at practice. So this was, he pretty much had just one practice at right tackle with pads. And then we had our 2 walkthrough days. So it was kind of rough, but he's a smart kid, knows what he's doing, but that's besides the point. So for this right here, again, we're telling our running back's aiming point is the outside leg of the tight end, okay, or ghost tight end if we don't have a tight end in there. So in this situation, he does a great job of bouncing outside because we don't do a good job of kicking this guy out with 72. We want to try to kick him out here instead of trying to log him inside. We end up not doing a great job, but again, the running back was good enough to bounce it and make us look smarter than we were. Then here's another clip with the, kind of what I talked about with the stab look, okay? Guard does a good job here. He's got eyes out there. You can see he's got eyes out there, okay? But he's smart enough when and this was a mistake by our receiver. When our receiver goes to pick him up, you can see his head immediately turn back inside and just say, okay, go find another body. And that's a good job. That's a good job by him kind of covering for this mistake, so to speak. Because in reality, he should be working here. We should be looking out here because it's an outside zone play. We want to get it outside first to make a cut up instead of having to make a cut right in between the tackles. So, okay, and this is one of those situations where, as a coach, we're looking at it because if you watch, we know the backside tackle is responsible for the will, right? Okay, but the problem is this guy, this backside end is chasing this down. So this is a good example of us as coaches seeing this, from the box or from the field and saying, hey, that backside end is chasing this down. Now would be a good time to maybe boot it out or do something along those lines because he's going flat. He's not worrying about anything else. He's not playing contain, playing quarterback. He's just going flat down the line. Now we're able to make something out of nothing here, getting a couple positive yards, but still not ideal for what we want. Okay. Okay, so here's another example. Again, draw it up right here. What we end up doing. University of Chicago is a really good team at kind of with these guys. When they see down blocks, they're fighting over the top. So we had to change a couple things up here and there, just kind of what we're doing. But we do a good job. And this is a good example of the backside double team, okay, what I was talking about. So we're looking outside here, Sam, okay, to Mike. And now we get a good job backside double teaming to the Will linebacker. Well, not a great job, but you get the idea. Okay, but still able to get up there, make some positive yards out of nothing. And the running back did a good job of kind of following his blockers and getting as much positive yardage as he could. Don't need to have the sound on it. Okay, again, end up only pulling the one. All right, probably could have pulled, probably should have been down. And again, this was early in the season, not ideal, not what we wanted. Just communication wasn't where we needed to be, but probably should have been down with the center and backside tackle. Okay, now this is a situation here where the tight end's kind of got a guy mugged up, man up. We're telling him, you got to take this guy where he can go. All right, and it's up to these guys here pulling to sort of read that block and get to where we need to go. So we know the end's going to have him man on. Okay, first puller should be looking here. All right, that should be the first block for the first puller. Backside guy should be looking here. All right. Okay, don't do anything what I just drew up because we knew that, again, this is one of those situations early. We knew what was going to happen. Again, my drawing was perfect world scenarios, what we would like to happen, which rarely does. Okay, this is another example of the center pulling, another really good cut by him. Here's where we mess up, though, because now we're outnumbered. This guy, there's nobody to block this guy because we only pull one. So the running back's got to make a decision and try to get, again, vertical yardage instead of trying to or make this guy miss. If we do what we're supposed to do on this play, we've got to bite it for him. We've got a body for him, and we're good to go, kind of getting yards. So, again, not always perfect, but, if you've got the back that can read it, you can make things happen. Okay, let me find a couple stab plays. Here we go. Got sound on. So this is 36Z search. Okay, so all that's telling you right now for our guys is that the Z receiver is looking for the Sam linebacker. Okay, the Sam backer, strong safety, whoever it is, that +1 to the field. Okay, in this situation, it was that guy you just saw right here, kind of walk out, number 17. All right, so we're going to pick him up. Okay, you can see a good job, and this was our young guys. You can see a good job of him telling this guy, try to block down. We end up missing him again because it's our young guys. All right, and then we're chasing after bodies. Now we're good enough up front, or we're good enough in the backfield on this play to make something out of nothing. Okay, and kind of bounce off some guys. This is our what we affectionately refer to as our fat back. But you can see, again, even the mistakes here being made, okay? We should be down here, all right? Probably down here, all right? Down here, then quick boom right there. Probably the center pulling right here, and then this guy folding up backside. We know we've got the Sam backer picked up, all right? Again, young guys, end of the game, very confused on what to do, but just that comes with time, with communication.
And then, Coach, how do they kind of figure out who's going to pull and who's down blocking?
So if your inside gap is covered, you're down blocking.
Gotcha.
Okay, so if your inside gap is covered, you're down, and that's just a communication thing we have with our guys. They make sure that they voice it. They make sure that they talk to each other about it, and let them know who's going. Okay.
So you're saying when you pull the wrong way, there's actually really no excuse because you know which way you're inside.
There's no excuse whatsoever. It's just silliness.
Yeah.
And then they get made fun of in practice. So
rightfully so.
Go ahead.
Rightfully so.
Right. So this is another one example of what we've got. This is 36 truck. Okay. Truck is telling our guys that we're all blocking down from these three and trying to pull the tackle out here. Now, again, we don't do a good job on this. I think this is a situation. Our offensive line has free reign. If they think they're outnumbered, don't have good pulls, they can full zone this. Okay, so this is an example of where we end up just full zoning it, not doing a great job with it, but still getting enough positive yardage and getting the running back to find the crease that we're able to make something happen. Okay, for us, zone is, we're all kind of covering our play side zone, obviously. But again, this was one of those things that they kind of did this. This was a sort of a pregame or a mid-game adjustment, and we didn't do a great job of communicating it, keeping it going. But again, running back making us look good, making us look smarter than we were. So again, we end up you don't get the start of this play. We try to pull guys on here, but we end up just getting kind of all mashed up in the middle. And we just bounce it outside again. So, it's good to have those tags, those talking points of when you need to have guys pulling, when you need to have just maybe a full zone. Maybe they line up in a bear front. Maybe they line up with everybody covered up, and you need to just go, hey, just go full zone here. It can still work. But for us running that old kind of buck sweep look. For our pin pull has been really helpful and really getting our guys kind of getting that alley and making sure that our running backs can get positive yardage when they need it. So that's our pin pull sort of in its simplest form in a nutshell.
Awesome, Coach. If you want to unshare your screen.
Yep.
So what type of pull are you, because there are couple of guys are doing a couple different ones. So what type of pull are you working most of the time, or are you working both a full step and go, and skip?
So we'll work both. A lot of the times I like the front side guy to take that bucket step and go, and then the backside guy to sort of skip pull, like I call it a skip pull for like they're playing like power or something, because it's going to keep them flatter at the line of scrimmage. Now they've got it's a different run. I mean, it's not, obviously they're not looking to insert like power. They've got to skip pull and sort of get a little bit of depth and just run at to where they need to be. But the big thing is that word run. It's not like power where you're inserting. You've got to get on your horse and get after that guy to try to find a way to get a piece of him or get in his way.
And then what are you telling once they get out into space?
We'll just block them.
Guys, just get in their way.
Exactly. Don't get in their way. Take them where they want to go. If they want to fight outside. It's up to our running back at that point to make a move and make the guys miss and make us, again, like I said, make us look good.
I gotcha. And then you said you try to not pull your center. Outside of because he has to do the snap, because he has that extra.
Right.
Is that really the only reason, or?
So 2 years ago before I got here, they pulled their center a lot because he was their best puller.
Okay.
This past season, we thought our guy wasn't going to be a great puller, and he ended up being a really good puller. I mean, he's like a little mini fullback out there. So it's truthfully just play to your strengths. If you get a situation where you got a head up nose guard and it's between your center and between center and a guard pull your best puller. If it's your play side guard is a better puller, then have your center scoop that guy. If it's your backside guard, then have your center high pressure that guy and pull your backside guard. So just pull to your strengths is the best thing I can tell you for that.
Okay. And then last question I got for you, Coach, before we get you out of here is you guys don't run a lot out of just like 10 personnel
Right.
or single back. But if you were, would you still run the kind of that pin and pull scheme?
It's tough. So we've done it. I say we. When I was coaching at Springfield High School in 2010, we did it because we had the offensive line that could do it, and we had a running back that when we run our outside zone play, he was fast enough to get the edge. So we could do it. We would hook the play side guard, hook the play side end and play side tackle with the offensive guard and tackle, and then we'd end up just pulling the center kind of through the alley, and it worked really well. It looked really good and really hit. So, but it depends on your offense line again. You've got to try to. That was a true outside zone play. It wasn't really a pin pull play. It was more just kind of like that outside zone where the guy's uncovered and he ends up just pulling.
Right.
So, but I think you can run it. It's tough out of 10 personnel, obviously, because you don't have that block on the end.
Right.
But I think you can get bodies out there if you need to.
Okay. Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on, taking the time out of your day, and hopefully we'll see the Foresters out there.
That's right. All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Guys, if you like this content, hit the like button below. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get the most updated stuff coming out from Chief Pigskin. Check us out on our online at chiefpigskin.com, where you can catch the Under the Lights segment that's going on Monday through Thursday at 10 p.m. That's with Nate Albaugh, and he brings in a coach, and they just talk kind of life, football, and pretty much everything else. All right. Thanks again for watching.